In this video, I'm going to take 1,000 different Minecraft wool blocks that I've crafted with paper and create all sorts of pixel art that can lay flat, stand up, and even be held in real life. Let's hit it. For all of Minecraft history, gamers have been building tons of crazy art and designs using blocks called pixel art, but never before have they built them using real-life Minecraft blocks. Shut up, Kamichi. So to start on our journey of mastering real-life block art, the first things I'm going to build will be the most basic of all, 2D pixel art. Basically anything that lays flat on the table. And first up, we're making Minecraft items. But not at this size, at this one. Talk about huge. Now this could probably hurt someone. Wait. Never mind. But after the arrow, the next item we're gonna craft is a totem of undying. In Minecraft, this thing allows you to not die when you're supposed to. And I also used a lot of oak logs, some endstone, and lime-colored wool to make it pop. After that, we're putting together a blaze rod. I'm honestly impressed by how big it is. I just followed the pixels from the game, but it's also the same layout for sticks, breeze rods, and anything else that involves rods. But the last 3 items I'm gonna make here starts with an apple. I even used crimson nylium for the shading, a sick eye of ender, and finally an emerald. You know we got motion like that. Now it's time to make some tools. To get a full inventory of dripped out tools, I grabbed oak logs, oak planks, brown wool, and lots of colors. This way we can get some satisfying connections and craft a gold pickaxe. It may not mine very well, but it looks pretty drippy though. Speaking of drip, this next tool will pull all of the female villagers out there. The diamond hoe. Even though I've made a life-sized one of these, it's still such a flex. Afterwards, we got an iron sword. Alright, this came out so sick. Grabbed some stone and made a stone shovel. And finally, I cheated a little and made a copper axe. It just looks so good. Come on, Mojang. Now that we've made a full set of tools, these next pixel arts are about gaming. As you can see, I built a crewmate from Among Us, but I also made a couple more using different colors. They all look so satisfying, and I love how these wool blocks came out. But guys, who is the most sus? Well, I'm not doing that again. For this next gaming art, I decided to make the Triforce from Zelda. Just a whole lot of yellow. And speaking of Zelda, I made Link's shield as well. It has a smaller Triforce at the top, uses red for this little bird thing, and overall looks metallic with different shades of gray and white wool. Now besides Zelda, using magenta and lime wool, I made a messy painting that looks like Splatoon. This one is a little abstract to the NPC brain, but while I was making these wool blocks, Splatoon was the first thing I thought of. I also knew we had to make some Pokemon. Right here we have a little Pikachu. Unfortunately, I ran out of yellow, so he looks a little burnt, but I also went ahead and built a Charmander as well. One second. That's better. Now, while I could make Pokeballs, that will actually be later in the video, because you'll see why. For these last 2D pixel arts, let's make it a speed run. Don't forget to like the video, by the way. First, we got Sonic the Hedgehog. What a goofy little ball. This is Cosmo from Fairly Odd Parents, with his crown and the wand, and his wife Wanda. And finally, for all the One Piece fans out there, I made the Straw Hat Pirates logo. Whew! That was only 2 days of building pixel art. Everything that you've seen so far was made flat on my table. But now, since these blocks look great at all sides, I'm gonna be building vertically to do this. As you can see, we have our boy Mario here. He stands up nice and tall, has a brown mustache with golden buttons, and looks really nice even from the back. That's not sus, by the way. And since we can't leave a brother hanging, why not create his brother, Luigi? Finally, the boys are here. Red wool on this side and green on the other. But next up, we're getting a little despicable and making a minion. What's good, Bob? I even made his glasses a little 3D using gray wool. Wait, you want a little teddy bear? What a sweetie. Here you go, buddy. Look how happy he is. Afterwards, I put together a bunch of colored wool in different shapes to get Tetronimos. These you can plop down and play with to create Tetris. Honestly, this one is so sick, and it looks like we got a perfect game. I took a look at my phone and got inspired, so I grabbed some red and white wool to create the YouTube app. Big thanks to my boss right here. But I also made the Instagram logo with tons of dynamic colors, the TikTok logo for all the brain rotters out there, and Facebook for all my mom viewers, if you know what I'm saying. But instead of just apps, why not logos as well? We have the Apple logo, which is literally just gray wool, bruh. I also took some obsidian to make the Nike logo. I literally had to make supports for this build because it was getting too heavy on this side. And for the final logo, I decided what better to do than the Plop. Honestly, it was just a couple shades of green with black eyes and white highlights, but overall my little slime guy is looking good. Now, to add a little diversity to these pieces, we're now focusing on the most diverse thing out there: memes.
Aw, he looks so suspicious.
Not only did I just put together the best Shiba on the planet, there's also other small things like these boss glasses you can hold up to your face, a horrifying replica of Shrek with ears that stick out.
Man, why does he look so cute?
And without getting too cursed, that's about it for the memes. However, this next pixel art is far different than the others, because I'm building the entire thing on my fridge. Now I get to see a huge zombie face whenever I go to get a bev. Honestly, this works so well because the magnets just stick on there. This is just too cool. Now, so far we built flat things and vertical things, but now we are making pixel art in 3D. This right here is a Pokeball you can actually hold, and it feels super blocky. But I didn't just make a regular Pokeball. This is a Great Ball, which uses blue wool with red stripes. And for this last one, we're jumping straight to a Master Ball. All three of these balls are pretty fire because it doesn't feel real to hold them, but there's a lot more builds where that comes from. Besides Pokeballs, I grabbed orange and black wool to make a basketball. It really doesn't bounce though. That was painful to do. I also made a baseball using red and white wool and a small football as well. Now we can officially ball out and play some sports. After that, I used white, red, and brown wool to make a 3D cake. Looking absolutely bussin' right there. I even took this ruler and cut it in pieces. And speaking of food, I used some wood planks to make a bowl. This way you can grab your favorite cereal and start absolutely macking. Just don't use milk. This last food pixel art might actually be illegal, but we got a Super Mario mushroom. What do they be putting in these though? However, seeing these video game items in real life is freaking awesome. So I also made a mini question mark block as well.
Surprisingly, this took me 1 hour, so what I came down to is something like this. Yeah.
And a rupee from Legend of Zelda. Besides gaming, I used a ton of stone to craft the base of Thor's hammer. And then with brown wool and some wood mixed in between, I attached the handle. Boom! Am I worthy to hold it though? Oh! I put together a big red button with black and red blocks to create a bruh button. The funny thing is, I actually have a bruh button, so now I can spam them when I'm on Discord. But for the final pixel art, I grabbed some brown wool, some wood planks, and a couple colors for detail, and created a mini version of Steve's head.
Wow, he's chunky. By the way, this is 512 blocks, so I got a little desperate for the color brown. Bro's barber did not cook. And his head is also just filled with obsidian, literal rocks in his brain. But otherwise,
absolute W man right here. Now this doesn't compare to my other Steve head, but it still looks really cool and shows some respect to our boy. If you guys want to make or buy your own blocks, check out my website in the description, and thanks for watching.